Ladies and gentlemen, it is I, Tetra, and I am doing a giveaway of 50 beta keys for Heroes of the Storm in the EU region. To watch the rule video, click the link in the description below. Countdown has begun, and we're going to be getting into game number 1 of this best of 5 series in the round of 8. Winner of this will be moving on to the Heroes Premier League Season 2 with a prize pool of $2,500. First match is going to be on the Haunted Mines. If El Nexo were here, they'd be having a wonderful time. They are very, very good on this map, as are We Are Not Prepared, in fact. 2 of the better teams in the EU at the moment. So, map has loaded in, eventually. And once I'm actually able to see them, I will introduce you to the players. So, spawning on the left-hand side, as the blue team, we have... hang on, what was their name? Oh, Woe Ist... Hang on, I should probably bring this up so I can read it off until I get it right. Woe Ist Kazooie, there we go. And, starting in the top lane, we have, on the Tyrande, Blow Your Brain. On the Tychus, we have Sheep. On the Anubarak, it is a BKB. On the Ufa, it is Invidium. And in the bot lane, on the Muradin, it is Anti-Hero. Whereas on the right-hand side, in the Red Trunks, it is, starting in the top lane, Team Acer, and it is Zon on the Tyrael. Destin will be playing the Rhaegar. Hollow is on the Valor. Greenout will be bringing in the Illidan. And Zypho will be playing the Tassadar in the bottom lane. Both teams focusing on the top lane here, which is the Golem lane for Team Acer. So an interesting decision. Sentinel goes past. Don't think it actually got vision of anyone. And now Acer gonna begin their push of the lane. Both teams going to be fighting over control here. And we do actually see Illidan swap with Tassadar so they can push this lane even harder, because it is going to be a 4 versus 4. And Illidan is just going to have a melee fight with Anti-Hero in the bottom lane. Acer getting the advantage to begin with this push in the top lane. Anubarak's knockup does not land yet. And at the moment, it is just going to be a fight over who can push harder. And that will, for now, go over to Team Acer. And they will have to keep that up as long as possible. Hollow almost caught out there. Does get knocked up. And a lot of harassment here coming out of Team Woe Ist Kazooie. So we will have to see what they can do out of this. Hollow looking for a punching arrow. Does actually land it onto Invidium, but gets instantly healed by Tyrande there. But they are currently just waiting for the first mines to spawn. We probably won't see a death until at least inside the mines. I doubt anyone will get caught out before that. Unless, of course, Illidan manages to fight Anti-Hero all the way into his tower, and one of them does go down that way. Mines spawning in 20 seconds, and we do actually see Invidium getting dropped pretty low there. Dropped most of his CC, but that healing ward will keep him alive. BKB also dropped low, but he's just able to dive out of there. He's going to be able to Fountain, keep himself alive and healthy for the mines, which will be starting in 5 seconds. Acer, as we said before, do have a bit of control of the lane, so they will get the first dibs on the mines, or at least be able to, if they want to, set up a trap. And it looks like they kind of want to set up a trap. BKB, the full team is here, and BKB is being dropped very low. He's able to back out. Zon is able to chase down Sheep. BKB able to escape the mines though, but in comes Illidan, possibly looking for the cleanup, but they were all a bit too far back. So now all members of Acer are in the mines. They're going to be clearing up as many of these skulls as possible. Muradin is being sneaky on the other side of the map. He's getting a couple skulls himself. He's going to back out now because Greenout has spotted him. BKB is here with him though. The entire rest of Woe Ist Kazooie has popped up here looking for their opportunity. But Acer still looking good here. But Anti-Hero going on to Hollow there. But Hollow able to stay alive. Anti-Hero gets popped down. Hollow's being dropped low. There's the shield from Tassadar though. She's taking a lot of damage though, but able to back out. BKB being dropped low. Destin also able to heal himself back up to stay alive. But BKB will go down to Greenout, and it's now Blow Your Brain, who's completely isolated from his team there. Gets a stun onto Destin, but does not keep himself alive. He will go down. Current skull count is 42-4 in favor of Team Acer. And they are now going to be clearing up some skulls and getting ready for taking out this golem. Whereas Woe Ist Kazooie, they're either going to have to roll back in and fight at the golem, or they need to start taking some mercenaries of their own. We're seeing Muradin currently on his own, but we will see Tychus following up behind him, getting ready to try and fight for the golem, but they realise that Acer aren't there. Acer don't really appear to care about the golem. Instead, they're going to back out of the mines and start taking care of this top lane to give their golem a much better opportunity. We're pushing. If there's no towers or anything, it's going to go straight for the fort, and that's what they're going to do. Those towers will not last long. They'll get taken out. They'll probably take down the gate as well. However, they did give away the extra 30 skulls to Woish Kazooie here. A risky move, but we'll see if it does work out for them. And Acer taking down everything in this top lane except for the fort, which they're going to leave their golem to, and are now getting ready for mercenaries. However, Woish Kazooie, very similar idea, thinking about doing just some damage. However, they're not going to be able to take down the building due to Acer roaming themselves down there, getting ready to try and getting ready to see if they could kill off anyone, but Woish Kazooie backed out in time to not get picked off. And we're seeing now both teams starting on their easy camps, capturing it when the golem is about at your first tower, or about, I think, a third of the way through the lane. We'll be able to, we'll give it the perfect timing. We'll see them take it here, but just before half, I think, is the actual timing. Yeah, both teams waiting for half, capturing their giants, and going to be pushing up there as quick as possible. Here we go. Team Aces is a lot bigger. That Grave Golem is going to do a lot of damage here. And the Stomp already being procced stuns one of the Siege Giants. They could have probably waited to take that a little bit later so that it wouldn't happen. Acer Zon is going in very hard here. Hollow dropping a lot of damage onto BKB, who is, as we've said before, quite squishy. He props his shield, though, able to stay alive. Actually, no, that's Ufa's protective shield. The dive continues. Antihero able to escape. No one goes down, but Zon gets stunned. He's going to back out, though. He shields himself and Hollow, but the first fort does go down. The Golem in the bot lane still doing a nice job, but those Giants are doing a very nice job of clearing that up. Slowly but surely, it will not take down a fort. Right now, Woish Kazooie very much on the back foot. Still about half a Golem left for Team Acer here. Renown taking a lot of damage from that overdrive, but able to stay alive. Having a look at some of the builds. Oh, Zon gets stunned again and knocked up, but no one going down, no one engaging as of yet. Oh, hang on, Antihero getting engaged upon by Greenmount, but he's able to jump away. Acer Zon continues to chase forward here. Hollow doing huge amounts of damage, but he's being overdriven on nice vault to try and keep himself alive, and he does actually stay alive. Chain healing does not does heal him back to pretty healthy, and Ufa does go down. The keep will actually go down just to Acer here if they stay to attack it. There's the ancestral healing, and the fight continues. In comes the Metamorphosis, but it's just Illidan on his own because the rest of the team stayed behind thanks to the Rain of Vengeance. But they did get a keep on first Golem, 6 minutes, so they are very comfortable in this position. It's currently 5 versus 4, though. They need to be careful due to the fact that Valor is still respawning. They're going to be backing out here. Zypho does not escape, so that was 2 deaths given away to the enemy team there, but still able to do huge damage, taking down the fort, taking down the keep, and they barely lost a sliver of health on their own forts. So, very nice play there by Acer, gaining themselves a pretty big advantage. Bruiser Camp being taken here, but I doubt they want to contest that without Tassadar. Hollow and Green out, gonna check it out, but they won't risk diving. They won't risk diving in there. Hollow just throws down a multi-shot to do the damage. And something we should point out is Hollow is not actually going for the multi-shot build. Which is what we see before. This is still a pretty decent build that we have been seeing a lot of people going for. We have the Siphoning Arrow to give Valor a little bit of lifesteal that she didn't have in the multi-shot build. And then focusing on an auto-attack build. We have Manticore, which is basically a massively superior version of Focus Attack, meaning every of her third attacks does an extra 50% damage. We have Repeating Arrow, meaning she can do double heat. She can get the double arrow off to get double healing, and the Rain of Vengeance. Tyrael also a little bit different. We have Protection in Death, meaning that when he explodes in his passive, his Archangel, I believe, Archangel's Wrath, yes, then he will give his team a shield. So even if he dies, going to be protecting his team rather than going for the full damage build that we see a lot. Acer heading into the mines already, but Woish Kazooie already there. We're going to see a scuffle. Zypho looking for the engagement. BKB is the front line who takes it, but he gets healed up. Odin being used already. Going to get the damage off. Ancestral healing doesn't actually heal that much. A bit of a waste there. Rain of Vengeance also doesn't hit anyone. Cocoon has been used, but He does pop out and the fight does continue. Starfall did do a lot of damage there. Muradin jumping out, and Acer are just chasing this through. Your Odin does nothing. Down goes Tychus. We do see Antihero go down as well, and the rest of Woe is Kazooie back out. No one from Team Acer died there. They're immediately splitting up and going for all of the skulls. The rest of Woe is Kazooie running off, gonna start taking mercenaries, gonna start clearing waves, trying desperately to get some kind of XP back. But this is going to be a huge golem for Team Acer here. A lot of them, once again, are leaving the mines, though, now that they already have a 30%, they already have a 50% golem. So, feeling pretty confident about that. Gonna run back, grab fountains, and get ready to take their own mercenaries, and possibly fight the remainder of Woe is Kazooie, who may just try to dive one of their forts to possibly take it down. But instead, they're all heading into the mines to once again take the golem. But Acer, repeating their move from last time, just going to back away from it. They're going to see if it's being taken, but they're not going to contest it yet until everyone's here. But this time they are going to fight for it. And here we go. Zypho using his Oracle. He does see everything, does get stunned, but they're going to be able to grab quite a few skulls from this. There's the teleport in with the Elder Wind's Might. The healing ward has gone down. The chase continues. BKB very isolated here. He does have his burrow up. Nice Web Blast used there. The Divine Storm also catching out Green Apple. He's able to escape, and Hollow just continues the raining of damage and the raining of vengeance after he comes out of that cocoon. Continues to chase forward. Down goes Ufa, and we're now seeing Blow Your Brain taking a lot of damage. In comes Illidan with the Metamorphosis. He continues to damage. Everyone teleports out of the mines, though, and the chase continues, but down goes... I don't know who that was. That was Tyrant who went down there, and now the rest of Acer gonna be making their way back to that golem, and are gonna take that down and get a huge golem. A 76 skull golem is an 86 skull golem. I can't count. Is huge for them. They were already through the keep. That's heading straight for the core, and we see members of Team Acer being back to base, making sure they have full health, full mana. Except for Illidan, who already had full health and doesn't use mana. And they're instantly going to push with their golem. They're getting ready for the final blow here, and are going to try and take this game 1 as quick as possible with this 86 skull golem getting ready to fight. Everyone from Woe is Kazooie is ready. They need to put on the fight of their lives, kill off the team of Acer so quickly to have any chance of killing off the golem before it wipes out their core. And here it goes. Golem charging in. Antihero lands the hammer, but it only does damage to the golem, does not land a stun. And Woe is Kazooie kind of hanging in their base here. Odin gets poked, and yeah, looks like they're just going to let this happen. They know they can't defend. And GG, we're going to be seeing Team Acer take game number 1 of this Best of 5 series. There's the mule, just in time. And we do see Acer take game number 1 of this series, putting them one step closer to that spot in the Heroes Premier League Season 2. Very, very well played by them. And now, though, they only have 2 more matches to win for that opportunity. And if they continue playing as well as they just played then they have a very good chance of taking it. We are getting in to game number 2 of this Best of 5 series between Woe is Kazooie and Team Acer. Team Acer definitely have a comp more akin to rolling into a temple and catching someone out that way, because they are going to be diving in and wiping out what they can as quick as possible, preferably Nazibo or Valor, but Valor with Volt may prove a bit more difficult than that. And Tastar, Muradin, Ufa, gonna be quite hard to take down. But it is time to find out. The loading bar is full. The map is just finalizing its settings, and then we will get into game number 2 on the Sky Temple. So, eventually, there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game number 2 of this Best of 3 series between the team on the left-hand side in the blue trunks. It is Woe is Kazooie, and starting in the top, well, the middle lane, it is Sheep on the Nazibo. It is, according to this, my, oh, there we go, my cookhouse to the left and is back. It is a Sheep on the Nazibo. It is Invidium on the Ufa. It is Blow Your Brain on the Valor. And it is BKB on the Muradin. And in the bot lane, it is Antihero on the Tassadar. And on the right-hand side, in the red trunks, it is Team Acer. And starting in the top lane, it is Hollow on the Sergeant Hammer. It is Zypho on the Tyrande. Destin is playing the Rhaegar. In the mid lane, it is Greenout playing the Illidan. And in the bot lane, it is going to be Zon on the Chen. So I'm going to be paying very close attention to the talents this game to see how people are thinking about building. Chen starting off with the Regeneration Master. I'm going to make him a lot more tankier. That health regen when he's in Barrel Shield is very, very effective here. Have to see how he continues his build from there. For now, though, we're seeing the standard 3 people in the top lane for both teams so that they have more control over when the temple spawn. They can either choose to fight over the top temple or roll their way down to the mid temple, as this is the closest lane to get to both, depending on how the fights are going up to then. Invidium was thinking about roaming down, but realizing Greenout was playing a bit too close to towers, unlikely to get taken down here. Greenout did take a lot of damage from BKB earlier in a fight. For now, though, Hollow, being a little bit bullied by Valor, was able to heal up thanks to Tyrande, and is now doing a great job of clearing the waves and keeping Valor very zoned. Both those mines will hit Valor and do quite a bit of damage. Temples will be spawning in 8 seconds. And it looks like we're going to see Acer head up to the top temple. And this will, once Woes Kazooie have realised this, they'll probably make their way down to that mid temple and fight over that. BKB already has control of it for them. Greenout could dive this, but Anti-Hero is there with him. Bot lane has been left unattended, and it looks like Zon is going to be soaking that up, while Acer keeps control of the top temple, but he's now going to ditch it because of how many members of Woes Kazooie have come in to raid it. But now, Acer just going to use this to their advantage and immediately begin making their way into the middle temple and grabbing that, going to gain control. Zon has now come up from the bot lane after grabbing some XP for his team. And the fight over the mid temple will continue. Rhaegar has snuck his way back into the top temple and will continue getting shots from that. The fight in the mid temple, though, is going on for quite a while. Hollow is sieged up in the back, but he's only really hitting BKB. Zon is getting stunned. He can't use his brew here. So much CC coming out here. He is being forced to back up. And it's going to be Woes Kazooie who takes the final shots from this temple. Rhaegar, however, was able to grab the final shots from the top temple by just basically being sneaky and holding it until all the duration was used. Mirrored and Illidan, once again, exchanging glances, but neither one gaining a significant advantage. But Greenout has been forced to back up a bit. He will now head up to either help his top lane or to start on the Bruiser camp. It looks like the Bruiser camp is what he's going to be doing. And now the lanes have switched up a bit. Zon is currently in the middle lane, as he can fight BKB a little bit more effectively as long as he does not get stunned and stays behind his minions while he brews. Whereas it is now Tyrande in the bottom lane versus Anti-Hero. She can fight him from a little bit further away and is less likely to get consistently stormed over and over again. Excuse me. Zypho just going to be continuing to clear, as we're seeing in most of the lanes. Hollow and Destin going to begin rolling their way down to the bot lane. Temple doesn't spawn for quite a while now, but they can take mercenaries in the meantime. And Illidan has killed off the hard camp, but did not capture it, leaving it for his team to capture nearer the time of the temple, or for himself to capture later when he needs to. But like I said, the rest of Team Acer beginning to make their way down to the bot lane, clear up this easy camp, grabbing the XP from mid lane. Illidan still soaking top lane, so they're not missing out on anything. And Acer just preparing for when the temple comes up so that they can get a very quick, very powerful push going into that bot lane while they have mercenaries in all the other lanes. Whereas from Woes Kazooie, what we're seeing is a bit more aggressive, taking their mercenaries a lot earlier, which is giving Team Acer time to kill them off. And Greenout, temple has just spawned. He's going to immediately head to that hard camp, capture it, and work his way down. That hard camp will stop the push in the top lane, so he's pretty safe there. And he should be with his team just in time to maybe catch out Sheep, who's also on the way. Temple is now active. Both teams posturing, looking for an advantage here. Zon is going to be the one who makes the first entrance, but it's going to be Destin who gets caught out and wiped out very quickly. And not even a tiny amount of that damage has been counter-done to Woes Kazooie yet. Zon is tanking quite well, but he's not doing enough right now. Blow Your Brain is fighting Greenout right now, but Greenout can't even get close to dealing with that damage and the shield. So we're going to see Woes Kazooie take full control of this bottom temple, and Acer just going to back very far out of this, realizing they're going to have a lot of trouble assailing this position. So instead, going to head mid lane and maybe try and get some push out. But here is the majority of Woe's kazooie again, and they're going to go very aggressive. Greed Out has been stunned, and he gets taken down. Very good job there by Woe's kazooie, bringing the kill count up 2 to 4, and they still held that bottom temple, get the final 4 shots off. Very good there, getting the kill, getting 2 kills, and getting the temple. Very well done by them, and because of that, they are going to start on this boss. Acer, nowhere near in range to deal with this. Zypho and Greed Out are far too far away, and this boss is far too dead for them to try. But looks like Zon may try, but no, doesn't want to risk it. They do not even have ults yet. They are at level 9. They do not want to fight a level 10 Woe's kazooie. Speaking of levels, let's have a look at some of the talents while these teams start clearing up mercenaries, and Zon gets knocked up. Well done. Ultimates are now available. Chen is going for the Wandering Keg, so that is going to be for CCing the Nazi-Bow. And we're seeing the usual stuff out of everyone else. It's the Rain of Vengeance coming from Vala rather than the risky strafe. It's still very cool. Chen also took Swift Reflexes, so he can dodge more attacks sent his way, rather than the Enhanced Healing, which would work well with his Regeneration Master. And he's also taken Brewmaster's Balance, meaning when he's below 50 brew, he gains 20% movement speed, and when he's above it, he gains an additional 10 health regen per second. Very effective, and now let's see how that barrel works. Going on to BKB, trapping him in the corner against the palm tree, and they're going to continue aggro here, but it didn't do much damage. There is the Ravenous Spirit onto the rest of Team Acer here, and wow, just completely destroyed there. Down goes Illidan. Chen also got wiped out. The barrel didn't do enough. Greed Out has actually left the game. I'm hoping that is just a disconnect. BKB going to continue to push this forward. They're going to take down that first fort of the game. Sorry, second fort of the game. The Golem took one down in the bot lane that I missed. But they do take that down and give themselves a big advantage with the temples just spawning. And they're going to prepare for what looks like the bottom temple, or at least clear mid lane first. Acer also on their way to that bottom temple. Let's see how they can deal with this. Currently, they do have an Illidan bot, though, so they need to be very, very careful about this and need to try and get Green Out back in the game as soon as possible. Temple currently under Woe's kazooie's control. The bottom temple was also under Woe's kazooie's control, but BKB is about to get outnumbered very quickly if he's not careful here. He's just getting as many shots as he can. I think he was actually trying to use that knockout as an escape there, but instead it's just trying to deny this temple as long as possible. He's about to be 3v1'd if he's not careful. Kick lands, the stun lands, but he is able to jump out of there. Sheep has come down to join him, as well as the entirety, in fact, of the rest of Woe's kazooie, and they're going to roll their way into this temple. There's the sprint, try to get the Divine Storm off, but only gets a single stun off. Rain of Vengeance, though, catches on again. There's a Divine Storm, and the Ancestral Healing does keep Zon alive. However, the remainder of this temple is going over to Woe's kazooie. Acer making their way back up to the top lane, going to take the remainder of this temple instead. However, Woe's kazooie are on their way to that as well. Gonna fight Acer where and when they can. They still have a chance to cancel this temple if they go in quick, but they may have left it a bit too long. There are 2 shots left. Can they cancel it? No, they can't. And the final shots do go over to Team Acer. It's the small victories that can bring them back into this game. Illidan bot, that entire time, was pushing top lane, gaining them a bit of XP, and Greed Out is now back. Fantastic. So he can assist his team in taking this hard camp to get a bit of more push going in that top lane where they have taken down a fort already. However, Woe's kazooie stealing Acer's easy camp, which is going to help push their bot lane, which they also took down the fort for. Acer, though, going to be reacting to this, killing it off very quickly. Woe's kazooie, though, are just all around the map, taking as many mercenaries as they can until the next temple spawns. They don't need to fight at this point. They're feeling comfortable. There's objectives on the map. We have to fight them next temple anyway. There's no point us chasing them around and hunting them. Let's just grab what we can right now, kill anything they send our way, and deal with it that way. Tassadar on his way down to the bot lane to try and defend it, because Team Acer going for a very hard push here. There's the shield out of Tassadar. He does not have Mule, neither does anyone else in this game. And we are going to see Acer take down this fort. Tassadar, very little he can do about this. So that will go down, and that will even up... Sorry, that won't even up the fort count. Mid-fort did go down. So It does give them a bit closer to catching up, but they're still 2 levels behind. Next temple should be spawning quite soon, and we can see Woa's Kazooie all grouping around this mid lane. 38 seconds till the boss spawns, and I believe the next temple is in fact mid, so this was probably why they're grouping around. They're also looking for a push here. Acer all retreated back to their base here, waiting for their opportunity to try and do some damage. BKB's mount gets denied, and they're all looking for the opportunity. We have, once again, the sprint on the Nazi bow, very standard here, as well as the specialized toxin, that extra damage from range. And it's very standard stuff from everyone here. 6th sense on the Illidan, very viable thanks to just the 5 ability, combined with first aid and the shadow shield, going to keep him alive throughout the majority of these fights, as well as the metamorphosis in case he does at any point get a bit low. Right now, we do see Acer moving as a group. They do not want to get caught out. Temples, top and bottom lane, have spawned, and the entirety of Woa's Kazooie are hiding. They're trying to get a gank, but Acer just playing too safe. They're hanging back, they're waiting for good engagements, and now they can see that Woa's Kazooie is heading to the top lane. They immediately roll their way to the bot lane and are going to try and grab that temple. Woa's Kazooie, though, are instead of going to contest this temple, are going to push the lane their temple is firing at. And that is going to do a lot of damage here. Nazibo, they have zombies, they have a minion wave with them. Ufa is holding this on his own. Acer, though, going to try and make the best out of a bad situation and are going to, quick as they can, take this boss to try and get some kind of counter push going. However, for this boss, they're going to lose a keep, and down that goes. First keep of the game, going over to Woa's Kazooie, and they're actually going for the core here. This is very aggressive. Team Acer all being back to base. They did get the boss in time, and Woa's Kazooie now realize that there's danger around and are going to back out. However, Acer are mounted and will begin this chase. The stun does not land. The owl does. They have the vision. Illidan comes in. He gives chase. There's the stun. They've turned it around. In comes the metamorphosis. The barrel is going to isolate Sheep and keep away from this, but Zod has to back out. He cannot barrel through all of this, and the barrel did not interrupt the Ravenous Spirit that's now chasing back Acer. Down goes Illidan. Ravenous Spirit continues to chase Zypho, being dropped low. He does survive, but that was a good engagement by Acer that, because of a level deficit, was instantly turned on its head and just completely destroyed any chances that Acer had of defending that. And now both temples are going to go over to Woa's Kazooie. We are also seeing the boss in the bot lane, though, doing a pretty good job. It's going to do quite a bit of damage. However, Blow Your Brain has now come down to help clear this up and take that and try and stop it from killing the keep, which it shouldn't do. The keep, in fact, alone should be enough to pick it off. Woa's Kazooie grabbing the final shots from this bottom temple, but actually they're instead going to turn around and fight Zon here, which will give up the last few shots of the temple because all of Acer except Illidan are here. They are now grouped. Woa's Kazooie are now grouped up, but they all were a bit low, so they do have to back up here to wait for a better opportunity to fight. Woa's Kazooie moving in. We do see Acer trying to steal their easy camp. See if they can get... And they do drive them out, though. That 1 level advantage is still... what will soon be a 2 level advantage, in fact, is still enough to keep Acer a bit scared. BKB does get stunned, and there's the kick. Going very hard onto this, but Divine Storm is going to wipe him out. Greenout is trying to back out here, but he has been shrunk rate. He will be slowed. And the chase is very, very powerful. Greenout dies to the storm. Almost able to escape there, but now Zypho is the one being chased by Sheep here. Ravenous Spirit for the chase. The healing totem goes down, and Zypho is actually escaping here, but he stopped to stun, which means he did take a lot more Ravenous Spirit damage, and that should be enough to pick him off. The storms do take him down. And BKB is now going to be the front line of this push here. Nice knockback by Hollow, but Woa's Kazooie going to continue pushing this up. Hollow does get stunned and caught in the zombie wall, but is able to get out of there. But this keep taking a lot of damage here, and Destin and Hollow cannot defend this on their own. So this will be a second keep of the game, going over to Woa's Kazooie. So they will now back out, play it safe, grab mercenaries. They're actually taking a bit of damage on their bottom lane keep. That might go down if they're not careful. It's only got a tiny sliver of health left. It's all down to these minions to save it, but it doesn't look like that will happen. We will... oh, actually, 1 minion versus monster. And monster wins. And it doesn't matter because the minions will take it down even if it hadn't. Right now, though, Acer thinking about once again charging in to give chase, but deciding better of it instead. Gonna take down these bruisers that kazooie just stole. Very, very nice. Temple about to spawn in 8 seconds. It is only in the middle lane. kazooie taking time though to take down the bruiser camp in the top lane, take down their bruiser camp so that can help push the top lane first. Owl hits anti-hero. And Acer have set up shop in this middle temple very, very early. But kazooie aren't going to give it up without a fight, looking for their opportunity. BKB moving in to at least cancel the temple and turn it neutral. And now they have the area. Anti-hero cannot remain sieged up for long. There's a Divine Storm, gets 2 members. The barrel, though, doesn't really do much at all, but it's actually keeping BKB quite a bit far back, but it's pushing him onto Hollow. Ravenous Spirit coming down because the barrel has now expired. Greenout is attempting to pick it off. Nice stun from Tehran. Stops that Ravenous Spirit finally. Rain of Vengeance, though, is zoning out a lot of the remainder of Acer. Blow Your Brain being forced to play a bit safer here, but he's still going to get Zypho. He's going to be close, though. Almost went down, but still able to get Zypho and stay alive. This fight is the best one Acer have had so far, but they're still not doing a good job of taking down the rest of this team. Invidium is able to survive here thanks to his protective shield. Zon is now basically on his own. Destiny is just hanging back, healing him with what little mana he has. He only had 60 mana during the majority of that fight. And now, kazooie going to take the very large remainder of those shots, and they're heading straight for that bottom keep, and that will be the last of Team Acer's keeps going down. And they've also had a bit of pressure onto their core from minions and mercenaries this entire time. So they are in quite a lot of duress, and quite a few shots will actually hit their core here. How many are left? I don't think that's enough to take off the shield. Yeah, that shouldn't be enough to take off the shield, even with the... Actually, the 3 shots at the end might do it. Let's find out. And charge. Pew, 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 pew. It takes off the shield exactly. Okay, fair enough. So, did take off the shield, but it's not really going to be much made out of this because there's no minion waves or anything else pushing up with this. Acer, they are not out of the game yet. They still have a chance. There are catapults pushing in all of their lanes. kazooie have been winning a lot of the fights, but that fight was by far the best Acer have had so far. They still do have the chance of bringing it back. They have an open core. Keep in the bottom lane is gone. They can, if they get very lucky, pick off what is left of pick off the entire team of kazooie and try and just dive the core and take it down. That is a possibility for them. Right now, though, both teams posturing around the boss. Oracle does give vision for Team kazooie. Owl gives vision of BKB for Team Acer. And both teams just waiting for an opportunity. They both want the other to start the boss. It's the only objective left on the map until the temple spawns. However, there's a pretty tough minion wave in the top lane for kazooie. Acer need to go back and deal with that. If they're not careful, their core is going to start becoming under attack. So, all kazooie really have to do is wait this out. Yep, that minion wave is about to move onto the core. So Team Acer need to either choose to take damage on their core and wait until a minion wave spawns, or they need to try and fight here and try and throw kazooie out of this. But all kazooie have to do is sit here and wait. Damage has been... Actually, no damage was done to the core. That minion wave spawned perfectly. But now here's the temples spawning in the top and the middle lane, but Greenout is being chased. Nice stun from Zypho, trying to slow him down. Greenout gets a lot of health from that, but CC'd, completely annihilated. The Starfall doing a lot of damage to Anti-Hero, though. They need to stop fighting this, need to get out of it as quick as possible. Full team fights going on. The core's under attack while this is going on, though. Ravenous Spirit being dropped down. It will chase Destin, but he does get actually CC'd out of it this time. And it looks like Zypho will be able to escape. However, Illidan and Chen were not so lucky. Hammer running into that temple, going to try and get a couple shots out of it, but he needs to run away. Here comes the team. BKB locks him down, and Hollow will go down. It's now Destin and Zypho who are alive. Destin and Zypho both heading to their top lane to defend against the minion waves that's taken their core down to a very low percentage, but it doesn't matter because kazooie have control of both temples, and that allows them to take down the core and take this game. We did hit level 20 in this game, but the talents didn't matter so much. The fight was nowhere near winnable for Acer. So kazooie do take game number 2, and that brings the score up to 1-1. And we will begin loading in to the Dragonshire in this third map between Team Acer and Woe ist Kazooie. Score is currently 1-1. Whoever wins this will bring themselves one game away from winning the spot in the Heroes Premier League Season 2 with the $2,500 prize pool. There's a lot of money at stake here, and a lot riding on the next few games. We don't have any other teams qualified yet apart from this qualifier, apart from Alternate. Shadowmare & Co. are still playing Mad Corps, and Five Runes and Team Kick Incorporated are still trying to play their way in, but for now, we are concentrating on this game. So, ladies and gentlemen, spawning on the left-hand side in the blue trunks, it is going to be Woe ist Kazooie. And starting in the top lane, it is on the Sergeant Hammer, Blow Your Brain. In the mid lane, it is going to be Tychus, being played by Sheep, Tassadar, being played by Antihero, ETC, being played by BKB, and Invidium, who's a reindeer, aka a Rhaegar. And on the right hand side, in the red trunks, it is going to be Team Acer. And starting in the top lane, it is Acer Zon playing the Muradin. In the mid lane, it is Greedout, who is playing the Ufa. On the Tyrande, it is Destin. Hollow is playing the Nazeebo. And on the Valor, it's going to be Zypho. And both teams starting off with the 4-man mid push. The idea of this is to wipe out the minion wave as quickly as possible, and if you're really lucky, get a kill. Because if you can do it quick enough, you can kill that off and get to the bot lane before a minion dies. However, both teams have failed here. A single minion died, so, however, they do both come out even in this. But however, Sergeant Hammer being trapped away from her base here, but nice knockback, Blow Your Brain, able to survive being ganked by 3 members there of Team Acer there. Very, very nice play. And both teams continuing just to try and soak XP. We're seeing a lot of roaming here from both teams. The 4-man roam squad, once again, from Woe ist Kazooie moving down. ETC is the main engage force here. Hollow has been knocked back. Nice zombie wall, though, but there's so much range here. Overdrive does pick him off. And now Invidium, though, is being dropped quite low. Shrine has already spawned, and the first one does go over to Woe ist Kazooie straight away. Antihero is now going to fight Zypho for this shrine. Top shrine already went over to Zon, and Blow Your Brain is going to attempt to take it back. He doesn't have any help here, but if he is able to cap it, there's a chance that mid could be taken in one of the earliest Dragonites I've ever seen. But right now, Blow Your Brain is trying to micro against Zon, but Zon is going to be able to hold this for now. But the mines actually might do damage. These mines are very confused. They don't appear to know exactly what they're doing. Nope, those mines are very confused. They don't appear to know what they're doing at all. And right now, a huge engagement in the bot lane. Hollow once again caught out and taken out by the overdrive. And we're going to see the shrine once again go back over to Woe ist Kazooie. And that does mean the shrines are... Only one shrine is in favour of Woe ist Kazooie. The top one is currently neutral due to the battle between Blow Your Brain and Zon that has been going on this entire time. Kill count, currently 2 kills to 0 in favour of Woe ist Kazooie. Both of them on Nazeebo. Going with the... Let's see if we can tilt the Nazeebo strategy. Antihero gonna once again try to fight with Zon, but this time Hollow is there to help him, and he will have to back out, which means this shrine will go over to Acer. However, Blow Your Brain is going to have to give up that top shrine due to once again the three men up in his lane looking to kill him. However, he was able to boost out, able to knock back and keep himself alive, and dodge the stun from Zon. Very well played there. We did just see Nazeebo again go down. The tilt Nazeebo strategy continues, and BKB heading to the middle lane here just to continue soaking this, and Hammer thinking about going for that shrine there. If she can get someone else up there to help, they could possibly take control of that and grab a Dragon Knight. Zypho, it has been pushed back pretty hard by the amount of people in his lane, and looks like we're actually going to see Acer see Woe ist Kazooie do this. They're going to be taking their easy camp very quickly just to get some more pressure in that bot lane. However, both shrines are about to be, as long as Hollow holds, but he does not want to take the risk. Both shrines were going to be in favour of Acer. BKB now in a bit of trouble, but he's going straight onto Green out here. Going to be taking him down. Stun goes down from Tyrande, but it misses everyone. Green out being body blocked. Very well played there. He does go down. And while we are seeing Team Woes Kazooie back away here. Both teams are sort of just dueling, but no one's actually engaging very hard yet. We'll have a very quick look at the talents. Everyone is looking pretty standard on the side of Woes Kazooie, except for maybe Tigers, who obviously took the extra grenade damage, which we do see now and again. It's a second standard build that we do see on Tigers nowadays. And ETC, starting with Block, also took... Oh, we lost Valor. That was in the mid lane. Yes, it was. Very nice gag squad here coming out of Woes Kazooie. It's been very effective, and ETC will grab the first Dragon Knight. But Woes Kazooie took the Echo Pedal, which means basic abilities do damage. Do 10 damage every time he casts an ability in a small AoE around him. And he also took the extra knockback on his W, which is going to be which we've seen a couple times, pretty effective at taking down people, or at least moving them into his team. They take down both towers and the fountain in this mid lane, and now the dragon roaming to the top lane, whereas the rest of Woes Kazooie taking down towers and maybe heroes if they can maybe catch someone in this bottom lane. Having a look at some of the other talents, we see Sergeant Hammer has taken the hypercooling engines, the reduced cooldown on boost, for that extra escape rather than that extra bit of sustain in battle, which is quite nice to see. It's going to be interesting to see if that works. And the most interesting talent now that we've hit level 10 for Woes Kazooie, we have Bloodlust coming in from Rhaegar, and Hammer gonna boost out. That's fine, but BKB might not be so lucky. The huge knockback though coming out from that loudspeakers. It looks like he's getting ready to go back in. He has the stage dive, so he can chase onto this. We have Mosh Pit, stage dive, Bloodlust, Napalm, and Commander Odin, and Archon. The Odin, Archon, and Sergeant Hammer combo with Bloodlust could be huge in this fight. Does Acer want to engage this? They now have their ults as well. They have Ravenous, they have Divine Storm, they have Archon, and they have Starfall. And they have the Rain of Vengeance. They might look for a fight here. They're pushing forwards, trying to at least push Woes Kazooie back. The Woes Kazooie mounting up, looking for their opportunity. They want to fight here. They have a level advantage. They have Bloodlust. Zon is going to be the one who gets caught out. There's the Bloodlust, and the chase begins. Starfall will slow down the chase. Nice stuns, however, is going to slow down Woes Kazooie a bit. There's the Ravenous Spirit, going to be going on to the damage. Bloodlust expires, and no one died to that Bloodlust. BKB does cancel the Ravenous Spirit, though, saving his team. And Woes Kazooie going to continue chasing this, but Sheep has to back out to keep himself alive, but it's going to be Tyrant who does go down. Odin doesn't give you a second health pool anymore. He goes down. Invidium having to run, he survives, and down goes BKB as well. A 2-for-1 trade in favour of Team Acer there. Their Bloodlust was a good idea, but didn't really work out, and now Blow Your Brain is in serious duress. Tries to take down Hollow with him, but Hollow able to be healed up by Green out there, and Acer makes it a 3-for-1 fight. But Invidium looking to try and turn it around, but Zypho easily able to vault out of there and keep himself alive. Very well played by them. Haven't even seen the stage dive been used yet. We'll probably see that at a later point, but it's going to be very nice for taking him from one shrine to another to help out his team when it is needed. But that was probably one of the best fights that Woes Kazooie could have taken. They got their Bloodlust off, but that Starfall slowed them down and stopped the chase happening, stopped the huge snowball chase happening that you see when you use Bloodlust. You chase down the enemies and you kill them all off. If you're being slowed by Starfall and stunned by Rain of Vengeance, and then stunned even more by Divine Storm, you're going to struggle to get all your damage off. I just had a Divine Storm. Yes, I did. It looks like down goes Tigers in the mid lane. I completely missed that. I was paying too much attention to the bot lane. Looks like Green out is going to be able to take the second Dragon Knight. Oh no, nice denial there by Blow Your Brain. And I will begin to wake up and actually pay attention to the map, because I've missed those two things, and that's really bad. Mercenaries, first set of easy camps goes over to Woes Kazooie from their side, just to try and deal with the ones from Acer in that bottom lane. Acer, 4 members here, looking to try and push with this easy camp, so they're going to see what they can do. Zombies going down, trapping the easy camp of Woes Kazooie, which is going to do quite a lot of damage in the top lane. Destin being dropped low, the healing shrine though, the healing ward, sorry, able to keep him alive, and the Starfall able to ward away Blow Your Brain. In the meantime, Acer have been driven back from their push. All easy camps in this lane are dead. And we're seeing Woes Kazooie look to try and take control of this bottom shrine, which would give them the opportunity for the Dragon Knight. However, Acer are looking for the fight here. Zypho dives in, gets a double person rain of vengeance. There is the Bloodlust. It doesn't hit ETC, but he's continuing to push forward. Invidium. Oh, wow. Antihero and Sheep both get stunned here. Damage is going down, but it was ETC who drops first. And once again, the Bloodlust nets them almost nothing. And Acer doing a great job again. However, Blow Your Brain was able to take down Top Fort in exchange for this, get them a little bit of XP and make it so it was not a total loss. Very, very cool, very clever comp out of Woes Kazooie here, but it doesn't appear to be working. Sheep able to dash out of that zombie wall, so he does not get caught. Having a look at some of the later talents that we are getting now, while the Shrine is still being protected by Team Acer. Hang on, Sheep wants to dive in, but no, not going to happen. Oh, ETC though, stage dive slows Green out, but the zombie, he dashes through the zombies in fact, but Green out cleanses himself and protects himself. There's the Ravenous Spirit. CC from ETC has been used, but it's going to be, the Ravenous Spirit is just completely unabit. Tassadar's shield tanked all of that really, unable to really get much done from there. Sergeant Hammer was almost engaged upon there, but was able to get out, is currently in the mid lane, and able to get out and survive. Shrines both in favour now of Team Acer, and the fight continues in the spot lane. ETC takes back that bottom shrine and gets ready to engage onto Greenout, but Greenout does not care. He had Cleanse up, and the fight continues, and there's the stun, there's the Starfall, and this is the fight that Acer wanted to take. Anti-hero gets taken down. Sheep taking a lot of damage here. He is on the run, trying to do damage to Zon here, but he goes down as well. And we will see Acer take the Dragon Knight, but they when they feel like it, basically, we are finally seeing Zon make his way up there. Hammer is trying to make his way up to the top shrine, but he won't be there in time. It is far too late as Zon... Oh, Zon was attacked by minions. It might be enough. Nope, it wasn't. Zon takes the Dragon Knight and will begin his push in this middle lane, doing as much damage as possible. In the meantime, bottom fort has already been taken down by Hollow, by Zypho, and by Greenout. Have a little drink there. Blow Your Brain, moving down from the top lane to help defend against this Dragon Knight. And ETC moving in. They're trying to CC this, use up as much of its duration as possible. Having a look at some of the other talents while this siege is happening, we have Face Smelt by ETC, which means enemies hit by his what's that ability? Face Smelt. Yeah, sorry, there it is. Hit by it will be slowed as well, so it's extra CC for extra catching people, and he's taken Stone Skin for the extra tankiness. Tychus also with the Stone Skin. Hover Siege for Sergeant Hammer allows her a little bit of mobility, a little bit of repositioning to make sure she is hitting everyone as much as possible. And she also has the First Strike ability, which is very interesting. ETC jumping in, there's the Bloodlust, and that's caught everyone this time except Sheep. But they do get the easy camp and now will continue their push. Ravenous Spirit from over the wall, doing a lot of damage to Hammer, who's able to boost away. Sheep is the one on the run now. Will the Ravenous Spirit get him? The Poison might. Oh, the Owl takes him down. Sniped by the Owl. And now Acer, once again, with a 3-for-0 trade. That Bloodlust is not working out for Woes Kazooie at all. And Acer going to be able to take down this wall here. It's Hammer defending on her own. Tassadar is just making his way back now. Blow Your Brain gets done, gets owled. Tassadar trying to help clear the wave here. But Team Acer doing a fantastic job here. Valor with the hybrid auto attack build we saw before with Manticore and Battle Momentum and the Giant Killer. It's a bit different to how we did see it before, but still pretty good. Keeping her alive. She's doing huge damage with Manticore. She's healing up with Siphoning Arrow. Battle Momentum is allowing her to use all of her abilities on cooldown rather than just vaulting to get the Puncturing Arrow back. And the Rain of Vengeance is doing a great job of picking people out. And Tyrande, with a very clever ability, picking the Lunar Blaze, which increases the range of her Lunar Flare, as well as the Shooting Star, which increases the radius and the damage of it. So, oh no, I've got that wrong. Lunar Flare does more damage and refunds it was hit by an enemy. Yes, the area of impact is Lunar Blaze. So yeah, she's also picked Shooting Star on top of that, which deals 50% more damage and refunds all mana if it hits an enemy, which is a pretty effective talent to take, as we are seeing here. It does mean that she's given up Sprint to try and keep herself alive, but she's been in the back so often, it does not really matter. Shrine's going to go over to both teams here, but Acer going to play a lot more aggressive in this bottom lane, looking for enemies, looking for anyone to try and ambush, because they know they can. And we're going to see people from the rest of Woe is Kazooie having to be back to base here, because they know that this could take down their keep if they're not careful. Acer looking for the opportunity to engage. All ultimates are available. Bloodlust could be used again. They could try and get a good fight. They're only a level behind, but they need to do it well this time. BKB looking for his chance to engage. We haven't really seen that stage dive being used yet. And both teams just posturing, harassing each other as much as possible, looking for their opportunities to try and get that engagement. For Woe is Kazooie, the engagement that could try and get them that fight back. And here we go, BKB going in. He slows everyone. He has been bloodlusted. They continue to go in. Everyone in this comp finally has been bloodlusted, and they will push forward. And they get a kill. Tyrande does go down. Ravenous Spirit is in the background. ETC does deny it this time, though. And Hollow is on the run, but Bloodlust has now expired. They're fighting with all they have now to try and stay in this. Tyrande was the only person who died in this entire fight. So they do get someone, but the chase continues. BKB is very, very low. Needs to be very, very careful. And they're backing up. Acer turning the fight onto Antihero. The Antihero still alive, but Greedout continues to push. BKB also gets out on very low health, but those storms are doing huge damage to everyone. And the rest of Woe is Kazooie actually get out alive, but their keep does not meet the same fate. Here comes the stage dive, though, going on to Hollow and to Zon. They're going to try and get something out of this, but BKB goes down. There's the Divine Storm. We also see Ufa go down 1 for 1 there. It is now 3 members of Acer fleeing for their lives here. Ufa able to delay them a little, but that was a nice stage dive, actually able to pick someone off, but he gave his life for it. Storm does not hit. Hollow, you need to get out of there. Hollow, run! Overdrive, and there's the grenade, and he does go down. And Woe is Kazooie finally getting some kills under their belt, and this does mean they will actually control both shrines. If Invidium is very quick, he should get the Dragon Knight, and he will. Next Dragon Knight goes over to Woe is Kazooie, and they can try and start to roll this into a comeback. That was very well played by them. They finally were able to get a kill with Bloodlust, and then the stage dive, able to land it perfectly and get the and kill off another member. He did sacrifice himself, but he stopped that push and forced the rest of Team Acer back, and because of that, they were able to get Nazeebo as well. Dragon Knight and Sergeant Hammer combined together will easily take down this fort. However, Dragon Knight is getting CC'd and having a lot of its duration wasted by Muradin here, doing a fantastic job. Having a look at some of the talents that we are getting very close to level 20, but we'll have a look at the ones beforehand. We have Imposing Presence coming in from Ufa, amazing choice here. Enemies that attack you have their attack speed slowed by 50%, considering one of the better parts of Bloodlust is giving your teammates 40% attack speed. It's a pretty effective thing to reduce it back by 50%. Pretty effective indeed. And there we go, level 20 talents have been hit by Acer, and this is the engagement that they want. Divine Hurricane taken by Ufa. Rewind on Muradin and onto Tyrande. They're going on to BKB. BKB gets ready to vengeance. He does go down. Divine Hurricane hits Antihero and Invidium. They are trying to back up here. Ravenous Spirit in the back. The dragon does pop. Invidium is being chased. So much damage. This Ravenous Spirit lasts so long now, but it doesn't reach. Invidium is able to escape there, but that was still 1 kill for nothing. Level 20 has now been hit, though, by Woe is Kazooie. They have Archon. They have double Nexus Frenzy on Tychus and Sergeant Hammer. The buffed Bloodlust on Rhaegar, meaning it's now global. It'll buff minions, mercenaries, and everyone everywhere. And it's Bolt of the Storm coming in for BKB, which could be pretty effective here. Hollow rolling his way in here, tanking the storms, but going to use the zombies to help them take the Bruiser Camp. Acer still in control of this game. They looked a bit wobbly there for a second, but they still have control of the map. They're still getting mercenaries, and there's still catapults in that bottom lane, which could turn a fight. However, if Woe is Kazooie have any chance of bringing this fight back and turning it into a win for them, then they have to get a good engagement while both teams are level 20. Maybe on this fort, but the fort will go down, so they won't get the extra shots from that. And if they don't fight soon, we will unfortunately see Acer continue to just roll around the map and grab mercenaries because they have the map control. Which means Kazooie will just get further and further behind, meaning they're going to struggle to really get anything done. I would also like to point out we have the Nexus Frenzy on Valor. Once again, extra 20% attack speed and 20% attack range. Going to be keeping her very safe, but it is a very risky talent to take when Bolt of the Storm is available. This could mean Zypho could get engaged upon very easily. With the amount of CC his team has, though, should be able to keep himself alive. Both teams getting ready to engage here, and Antihero sees everything, but that's a bad spot for the rest of Kazooie. The global bloodlust does happen, and blow your breath. There we go. ETC blinks over, but that leaves the rest of the team completely alone. The Bruisers do go over to Acer. BKB, he did stage dive into the back there, but he's on his own completely. He is on the run. Antihero and Blow Your Brain are trying to hunt down Hollow, who's been separated from his team here. He does go down, but now Greenout is giving chase, but BKB is behind him. Looks like they're going to turn onto him, but here comes Zypho and Zon to try and turn this around again. BKB does get locked up, but with that face melt, he's able to push them back. However, there's a lot of mercenaries in this bot lane that are currently doing a lot of damage. We're seeing ETC go back to deal with those. And now we're going to see a fight over this top lane shrine. Acer need to get this. If they can get another Dragon Knight, it's pretty much over. And they do have the shrine. Ufa will now become the Dragon Knight. And they're going to push in and do as much damage as they can. There are mercenaries in the top lane that are being cleared up by Blow Your Brain, who is very, very low and is going to have to back up if he doesn't want to get killed off here by the Dragon Knight. Needs to heal up. Greenout going to take down the towers in this mid lane with the help of Zon and Zypho. We will be seeing Tehran spawn now, and Nazibo will be spawning in Terronde, as I was corrected before. And we will see Nazibo spawning in 4 seconds, so he will be on his way to help his team quite soon. However, Acer, in fact, going to wait for Nazibo very patiently. Wow, rip that fountain. The 1,000 damage Q coming in from Muradin there to buildings. But here we go. Dragon charges in. Very, very risky here. As we can see, he does take the CC, and he's now very much under fort. But nice stun there by Tehran onto Tassadar to at least reduce some of the damage. Nazibo is now here, so if they want to fight, now is the chance. Spiders do get thrown in. Both teams looking for an opportunity. Nazibo is now on 0 stacks of his gathering power, so he's not going to do as much damage as he was doing earlier. And there we go. Dragon Knight once again gets punted in by ATC. This keep will go down, but the Dragon Knight might actually go down as Dragon Knight goes down as well. There's the Bloodlust. Good timing here, trying to dive in and do this. In comes ETC to try and take down Zon, and they do. We're seeing Zypho now on the retreat. ETC is so fast with that, but there's the Raid of Vengeance catching him out. Ravenous Spirit over the wall, but Hammer is already there to deny that, but that means she was not doing damage in the rest of the fight, and we're seeing a very low Woe is Kazooie here, and now the rest of Acer are gonna give chase back here. Acer Greenout looking for his opportunity to try and pick someone off here. He does not have his ultimate. The only ultimate left currently is the Odin and the stage dive. Neither were used in that last fight, so Woe is Kazooie could try and get a counter fight here. Also Napalm, but Napalm's always up. And right now, Acer trying to do some damage from afar. Both teams only lost 1 member in that, and they're looking to try and make it 2 for the other team. However, Acer realized they could be in danger and are backing out. Destin does get Feral Lunge there. I believe that was Feral Lunge. Rhaegar, yep, that's Feral Lunge. And there's also Blood for Blood in there as well. But now, Acer playing it safe, backing up, going to be taking down the mercenaries and trying to do what they were doing earlier, just gaining map control, doing damage wherever they can, and getting ready for another Dragon Knight. They've taken down 2 keeps now. There is 1 keep left and a core to take down, and another couple Dragon Knights, another couple mercenaries will do it for them. Woe is Kazooie. They've been taking some pretty good fights now. They have all their talents. The Bloodlust is helping them out significantly, and it's actually de-pushing the lanes kind of a bit, which is very useful. So every time they fight, they're going to start looking a little bit better every single time. So Acer needs to start taking more decisive fights. So we will have to see if they can do this. Acer taking their Bruiser camp. We can see Woe is Kazooie there, clearing the bot lane and getting ready for the shrines to spawn. And Acer, the correct decision, deciding it's probably a better idea if we fight them than just let them continue to take stuff. And there we go. Moving into the bot lane. Oracle does spot them. Bruiser camp being taken by Woe is Kazooie. They're going to have to Bloodlust. They're backing out, looking for a better angle to fight at. There's a very small path here, and there we go, trying to trap them in the small path. Hollow is trying to do that, is fighting Invidium basically on his own, but Hollow's dropped very low by Invidium here. That Bloodlust is huge in terms of damage. Ravenous Spirit has not been used yet. He's saving it till he's seen all the CC gone. Hollow is backing up away from Invidium here, and Hollow is moving his way round. We did see Tychus go down, and Antihero is about to join him. Maybe no. It looks like he will actually get away, unless the Ravenous. Never mind. Ravenous Spirit's a thing. The heal goes down, but the Ravenous Spirit will pick him off, and that is a 2-for-0 in favor of Acer. They need to make this decisive and use these kills to go for an end. It is Hammer, ETC, and Rhaegar. Hammer is full health and mana. She's trying to do any damage. Acer are just going for the win. They have to win with this, because every time they fight, Acer's just going to start looking better and better. But down goes Tyrant. ETC will not go down. Nice Bond of the Storm to keep himself alive, but that does mean Acer have stopped attacking the core, and now Hammer and Invidium are on their back. Readout being dropped very low. He Divine Hurricanes and shields himself and sprints to get away. He keeps his team alive. And Sergeant and ETC was able to stage dive to the top lane and grab both shrines to at least stop any kind of Dragon Knight being taken and slow down the goals of Acer a bit. Very nice by ETC there, using himself as bait basically to keep going, to basically just keep the game going and keep his team into it, because the waves are starting to were starting to depush. However, Acer cleared them on their way out. There are mercenaries in the top lane, or a mercenary. There's one wizard left in the top lane for Team Acer. Antihero will be clearing this down, and we're seeing Woe is Kazooie actually attempt to grab the shrine in the top lane there, just for some protection, so that the Dragon Knight does not go over. Currently, Hollow and Greenout are camping this bottom shrine, but if they're not careful, they're going to run into a lot of members of Woe is Kazooie, but they do get scouted, and that's probably for the best for them, because now they can back out and they do not end up fighting a team with team 2 versus 4. The rest of their team is now here though. Both teams are ready. Hammer has used her boost. Muradin is giving chase to Invidium, but in comes the rest of Woe is Kazooie from the back. There's the Divine Hurricane, and it's going to be Rhaegar who's down. That's no Bloodlust anymore. There's the Ravenous Spirit on to Blow Your Brain. Blow Your Brain will go down. It is now Sheep, BKB, and Antihero. The Ravenous Spirit is on to Sheep. The range expires, but the rest of Acer will push through. And there is no Bloodlust now, and that is so huge in this fight. Focusing down the Rhaegar is fantastic for them. They're going to be taking the top and the bottom shrines, and that will give them their Dragon Knight, which is going to be taken by Destin here. And that means they will... Oh, hang on. ETC stage dive to the top lane, which will actually delay this a bit. He's trying to hold it for the rest of his team to arrive, but Acer are here as well. Antihero gets in here. Shrine goes over, but there's now no one to take the Dragon Knight because they're trying to fight again. Antihero is on the run. There's the stun. BKB is trying to B, but he's actually having to now run for his life. Antihero might not be so lucky, but he might take down Zon if Zon's not careful. There's the stun. There's the heals, and Zon will be fine. Antihero goes down. And Hollow attempted to take the Dragon Knight, but BKB is here again, just being a huge nuisance here. But he finally goes down, and Acer will finally take this Dragon Knight. It's now Tychus, Rhaegar, and Hammer left to defend. 40 seconds on Tassadar, 50 on ETC. The entirety of Team Acer's up, and Tychus may not be for long. There's a Divine Hurricane, and Sheep will go down. The Bloodlust is used, but it's only really going to affect Hammer here, who's trying to deal any kind of damage, but this will be it. Acer will bring this to a 2-1 lead for them, and bring them one game away from qualifying for the Heroes Premier League Season 2, and they pick off Hammer right at the end there. Greenout manages to survive by the end of the game, but Acer now one game away from qualifying for the Heroes Premier League Season 2. This is getting very exciting, but Woe is Kazooie was a bit gimmicky. The comp was an okay idea, but there was just too much CC, just completely out. They were just completely able to lock down the Bloodlusted characters and remove all of that damage potential that they did. We are getting underway with game number 4 of this best of 5 series between Team Acer and Woe is Kazooie. Team Acer currently up 2-1 in this series. One more game. This map could solidify their place in the Heroes Premier League Season 2. If they lose, they still have another round. They still have to try and win another round, and they will have to take it from their opponents. But first, introducing the team with the chance right now. Ladies and gentlemen, it is, in the blue trunks, Team Acer. And starting in the mid lane, playing the Tyrande, it is Zypho. Playing the Sergeant Hammer, it is Hollow. Playing the Ufa, it is Destin. The Anubarak is being played by Zon. And in the bot lane, it is Greenout playing the Chen. And on the right hand side, in the red trunks, it is Woe ist Kazooie. And we have... Fair enough. Alright, so we have Woe ist Kazooie, and starting in the top lane, it is Illidan being played by Antihero. In the mid lane, it is BKB who is playing the Muradin. Heading his way to the bot lane, it is Tassadar being played by Sheep. And the people he is joining are Invidium, who is playing the Rhaegar, and Blow Your Brain, who is playing the Valor, who has a very cool skin and mount combination, I have to say. Ace is however, in the top lane, which looks like where action may happen first, Zon and Zypho looking for the opportunity to gank onto Antihero. Hollow attempting to harass Antihero, but he's actually doing too good of a job because Antihero is not taking the bait and diving onto Hollow here, which is less than ideal, and instead Hollow is just doing a really great job of denying XP. There we go, tried to get the engagement, didn't get it. Antihero too eager to dash out of that and keep himself alive. Very, very good job. So, for the moment though, Greenout though in the bot lane, gonna have to back up here, takes a bit of harassment, but being Chen is able to survive pretty effectively. So, while the top lane is being pushed really heavily by Team Acer, and the bottom lane is being pushed really heavily by Woe ist Kazooie, I will have a quick look at the talents as the night does begin. But first, Zon taking quite a bit of damage from BKB and Antihero, but they both back up due to the harassment they were taking from Sergeant Hammer. But having a look at these talents, we have the increased range of the Impale of Anubarak by 25%. That is a very long range stun. Other than that, we are looking at pretty usual talents. We have the Regeneration Master out of Chen, we have Pierce out of Tyrande, and we have Conjurer's Pursuit coming out of Ufa. So other than that, very standard stuff. Greenout trying to defend this bot lane, but he is going to lose his tower. And it looks like one of the towers may go down the top lane as well. Hollow doing a great job of harassing Antihero here. And currently seed count though is 30 to 30. Both teams just taking out all of the small camps as quickly as possible. And now the rest of Acer have headed up to this top lane and are going to continue taking out all the towers up here and just keeping that, evening up that keeping their XP lead pretty effectively. However, catching up in terms of XP. Invidium gets dived on by Greenout, but Greenout still being Chen, able to tank the counter damage being done to him, but they are diving him this time. He is kiting away. There's the shield, but Blow Your Brain has such a huge shield on him. Once that brew finishes up, Greenout is in serious trouble. He's shielding himself again, but he had no chance of surviving that. Down he goes, and that is first blood going over to Woe ist Kazooie there. Very nice. And Acer going to continue working away on this top fort, which will give them the first fort of the game, I believe. I do not believe that Woe ist Kazooie can take down this bot one faster than a Sergeant Hammer can take down the top one. It's going to be quite close though, but they've had to back up to wait for minions. So we're going to see Acer take the first fort of the game in the top lane. The mid lane fight is just Hammer versus Hammer, neither one gaining a significant advantage, but Destin's having an easier time pushing the lane. And there we go, first fort of the game going over to Team Acer. Woe ist Kazooie though will take the second one very shortly after, and this game is looking to be pretty even so far. Neither team gaining a huge advantage. First kill went over to Woe ist Kazooie, but first fort went over to Team Acer, but Woe ist Kazooie did take one back very shortly afterwards. And now Woe ist Kazooie taking the bottom lane Terra and taking the top lane Bruiser camps. However, in comes Acer looking to steal that, and they're going to try and pick someone off. They don't pick anyone off, but they should be able to take this Bruiser camp pretty easily. Chen, however, dived into this Terra in the bottom lane and tried to steal some seeds, and he did actually get a couple, but not enough to make a difference there. And actually, I think he did actually. He was able to give his team a Terra, So yeah, well played, Jen. And now we're going to see the rest of Woe's kazooie take the bottom lane bruiser camps for their own and get some counter push going on to Team Acer, who are about to get the first plant. Chen giving his life for the push there. Very, very cool, but a bit risky in general. However, the bruiser camps in the bottom lane being cleared up pretty nicely by Zypho. Throws out an owl, should gain vision of this easy camp, in the bot lane being taken by Woe's kazooie. And the first terror of the game is rolling out with green out through the mid lane. The rest of Acer will either be pushing the bot lane, which looks like they're going to do, or joining the Terror shortly. Terror looks like it's just going to be a distraction here. Get as much damage as it can. The Terror will never get too much damage. It's not a huge deal, as people will keep reminding you. So green out, going to be playing it safe, acting as a distraction, while the rest of Team Acer begin the Protect the Sergeant Hammer game push in the bottom lane. BKB does get stunned there, counter stuns onto Destin, but then jumps out, keeping himself alive. And these Beetles are doing a great job of tanking the towers until the minions can get there. Great use of Anubarak's passive there, doing a fantastic job. The Terror, given up its push in the bot lane, has now made its way to the top lane, to at least slow down the push of Antihero there. And is now on the run. Antihero going very aggro, thinking about chasing the Terror, but decides against it and goes back to pushing the top lane, gaining his team XP, which has actually given his team a bit of a lead at the moment in terms of the XP bars. Green out, going to continue throwing down bulbs, get some towers in this mid lane with the help of his team now. Only has 8 seconds left, so any of that duration he can use, he should be using. Should really be going fairly aggro onto this as long as he can get out in time. There's the 1 second. Does get a bulb off in time, actually, very last second. And is able to clear the minion wave with it. So, not terrible at all. However, Acer do still come out behind in this because of Illidan has been in the top lane constantly, just gaining XP. If they can kill him, however, that might help them bring it back, and they are going onto him. Kick lands. Nice metamorphosis to dodge the stun. He's now playing the dodge game. Blow Your Brain is up here with him, as well as BKB, and in comes Sheep as well. Everyone is pretty much here, except for Ufa. Invidium comes in. We're going to see Zon dropped very low. Cocoon was dropped onto, I'm not sure who is in that, but it does get picked off. It was onto Illidan. BKB lets Antihero out. Antihero continues to chase onto Green out. Nice knockback from Hollow to try and protect their Destin. Also drops a heal. And no deaths from either team. Good use of the Cocoon there. But BKB was very much on point and released Illidan very quickly from that to get him back in the fight as soon as possible and continue that chase. Ufa able to keep his team alive though, get them out of there once he arrived to the fight. Stun lands onto BKB. Fight continues. Rain of Vengeance goes down onto Green out, but he is backing up as quick as possible with heals from Ufa. And once again, another scuffle with neither team gaining a significant advantage. No one has died in these fights yet. They're all waiting for their advantage. Ults are available for pretty much everyone. Divine Storm, most important ult is available. Ancestral Healing has yet to be used by Rhaegar here. And Metamorphosis, that is actually a bug. It is still on cooldown for 20 seconds. However, in come Acer going on to BKB, but BKB able to back out and keep himself alive. Green out has DC'd. Hopefully he can reconnect as quick as possible. And we're going to see Woe's kazooie head down to this bottom lane and grab as many of the seeds from there as possible. They have their Terror available, so they are going to grab... It looks like it's going to be Illidan who is grabbing that in the bot lane. The rest of Acer, however, have rolled their way to the bot lane to stop any of the big Terror seeds being taken. Napalm grants vision that there is no one there. And in the meantime, we're going to see Woe's kazooie take their bottom lane easy camp just so they can get a lot more just so they can just so they had it tapped for when the Terror spawned, and so that they can get some kind of push in that lane as well. But now there's the Starfall onto the 4 members of Woe's kazooie here, really struggling to engage. And Acer grabbed the remainder of those seeds. It's not enough for a Terror, but they were able to zone Woe's kazooie long enough so that they didn't get too much push out of this or the seeds themselves. And the Terror only just arrived, so Zon already in position to take out that first bulb, and the rest of Acer positioning to clear waves, get fountains, and anything else they need. Chenbot appears to be a bit confused and has run all the way to meet up with Zypho instead of mounting up itself. Goody AIs. The rest of Woe's kazooie finally starting to take this top lane Terror, and it looks like their Terror is getting ready to help protect them from doing this. Acer thinking about going in, but they decided against it. They do not want to fight an entire team and its Terra. Instead, going to push the mid lane as hard as they can to try and get something counter going while the Terra takes down their top 4, which would have been very difficult to defend due to the damage that it did to it before, and because Sergeant Hammer is pushing the bot lane of Woe's Kazooie and is going to take down a fort in exchange. So very good job there, but now Hammer needs to back up. Muradin is on the hunt. I doubt he'd be able to kill her, but would do a lot of damage. Clairvoyance? Sorry, that'd be Farsight, because it's from Rhaegar. Farsight does see Destin and Zon pass through, so they do know where the enemy team are. And Greenout has rejoined, so back into the fight. And we're going to see Woe's Kazooie begin trying to sneak this easy camp, but in comes Acer from the back. There's the stuns, there's the metamorphosis, the Giants are here with them, the barrel comes in from Greenout and just completely separates the team. And they still are not able to take down anyone, though. In comes Blow Your Brain from the back, trying to do huge damage. Antihero takes down the first person of the fight. It is Chen, and down goes Ufa as well. Very good job there. Blow Your Brain trying to pick someone off, but there is no one there to catch. And we will now see Woe's Kazooie push down this mid lane. They have a single siege giant with them that survived the fight, and now they're going to be able to take this fort and bring it from 3 dead forts to 2, or no dead forts to, or no forts to 1 in terms of what's left alive. And there we go. Going to be moving back and possibly going to try and steal this bruiser camp in the bot lane. Very risky, but with the Farsight, they do see that Team Acer are nowhere near trying to contest it, so they are pretty safe in taking this with relative security. And there we go. They do pick that off, and now they will likely move up and grab their own mercenaries. They won't try and dive the other Acer mercenaries because, well, Acer will know that that is the one thing they could try to dive. They're actually thinking about it, so they might try to do it while they have a level advantage. And there we go. Acer is prepared this time, though. Enough to share has been taken by Greenout, which could give him a bit of an advantage here. And there we go. We are seeing Woe's Kazooie thinking about it, but now Acer has had to abandon it. They've had to go to the bot lane to deal with this bruiser camp, and this will be another 3 set of mercenaries over to Woe's Kazooie. For now, though, the rest of Woe's Kazooie, once again, going to be heading and taking all the remaining mercenaries on the map. We have Muradin getting the bot lane ones, we have Tassadar getting the siege giants in the mid lane, and the bruiser camp is being taken by Antihero and Blow Your Brain. And Woe's Kazooie putting huge pressure on the map, doing a fantastic job here. And if they can keep this up, they're going to even up the score here and bring it down to a final match between Woe's Kazooie and Team Acer here. Acer, though, only a single level behind, well, a single level and a bit if you include the XP bar, which will bring Woe's Kazooie up to level 17 quite soon. But Acer still do have an opportunity to bring this back, as long as they can pick off some of the higher priority targets when they can. For now, though, let's have a look at some of the level 16 targets while the teams continue to clear lanes, clear mercenaries, and about to grab seeds. We have the triple blood for blood on the side of Woe's Kazooie, which is what we've been seeing burst down people so quickly. We have the second strike from Tassadar for that extra damage. There's the Starfall coming out from Zypho just to zone them out a bit. It's kind of like Farsight, only damage. So that's been used there to at least zone out Woe's Kazooie and delay the fight a little bit longer. Terra is now available for Woe's Kazooie in 9 seconds, and they're going to start taking this top Terra to get even more seeds and possibly prepare themselves for another Terra after this. In the meantime, Greenout is going to move in and take the seeds from the bot lane, just so his team has a Terra so that they can defend against the Terra of Woe's Kazooie and give themselves a chance of bringing it back. However, in comes Woe's Kazooie. Greenout needs to get out of there as quick as possible. He has been slowed. There's the armor to block the feral lunge, but blood for blood does do a bit of damage, but he's able to use his barrel to escape out of there and not get caught. Level 16 talents being taken by Team Acer here. Means the hardened focus from Ufa, meaning his cooldowns will be a lot lower when he is on higher health. We have the Ranger coming in from Tarant, which means she is going to be chunking people with those owls. She is unfortunately only going to hit the Terra here, but that's 900 damage worth of owl being flung at the face of a plant here. That's not something you'll hear in most games. Pressure point has been taken by Chen, but it's only a 90% slow now instead of a root. I personally miss it very much. And we have Stone Skin on the Sergeant Hammer to keep her alive in these longer extended fights. Antihero rolling his way forward, looking for his opportunity, to try and do some damage. Green out, staying fairly far forward to defend and see if he can catch anyone. BKB jumping out, making sure he does not get caught by any kind of CC here. But Green out, taking a lot of damage here just for clearing the wave and to hold back the Plant Terror of Antihero. And the Plant Terrors aren't too far apart in terms of time. It's 53 seconds for red team, 54 for blue team. It's not very far apart at all. So when these pop, they're still going to be... Neither team's really going to get a huge terror advantage, as we've seen a lot of teams get in the previous games. Green out, looking for his opportunity to maybe Roots, to maybe polymorph some, to maybe catch someone here, but both teams just having huge amounts of trouble here. There's the stun though. That was the first CC we got. Knockup comes in. Zon goes in. This is the fight. There's a Divine Storm. Gets 3 people. BKB does get taken down. That's the first death. And we're seeing Zon back up, protecting himself from the Terror. He does get polymorphed, but the chase continues. And now the Terror has been pretty isolated from the rest of its team. And we are seeing Hollow, though, taking a lot of damage. He needs to be so careful. Green out is going to pop out of his Terror first, but there's only 4 seconds left on the Terror, and it goes down anyway to an Owl. And there's the stun onto Antihero. The chase continues. Metamorphosis used over the wall. And there is the web sling to catch out a single member. They should be able to kill off whoever is in this. And it's... yep, it's Rhaegar. And down he goes very, very quickly. That is a 2 for 0. And this could be Acer's ticket back into this game. They are now moving as a unit. Going to try and steal some mercenaries from Yoist Kazooie here. Yoist Kazooie, though, moving to their bot lane, going to take these mercenaries and get ready for when Muradin respawns, or for when Rhaegar respawns, where they can take their second Terror.
Just because I wanted to get some sleep today.
I would like to remind my person to mute his mic. My broadcaster. For now, though, we do have Acer continuing to clear up the waves. They do not have another Terror here, so they're going to have a bit of trouble if they want to with this defense. However, currently Antihero just using his bulb to deal with the Bruiser camp in the top lane, and Yoist Kazooie need to win a fight with this Terror, because they are, or at least get a huge amount of pushing done. Right now, the bulb is about to be used again to clear a wave, and it's not doing much in terms of pushing the enemy team or fighting them with that huge health pool and that potential full team polymorph. For now, it's having to be used to clear waves, and it's doing a great job of that. But here we go. We did see Acer move a bit too far forward, and because of that, their keep took a bit of harass, but we didn't see any commitment there coming out of Yoist Kazooie. And because of that, Acer are now in position to defend. The Plant Terror is here, though, so it is now going to be the fight. Nighttime has happened. Green out gets polymorphed, but stays on pretty high health and can heal himself up pretty effectively with the amount of health regen he does have. And if he just throws out 50% of his brew, he should be pretty fine. Knockup does not hit anyone, but Zon probably going to get polymorphed. No, he's just out of range, able to keep himself out of that here. And right now, it is just a war of attrition. We did see Green out dive in there, but he can still tank most of this. Hollow managing to dodge being polymorphed, and they're going to be able to take out the bulb. Antihero diving in pretty aggressively here, but just takes a lot of damage. Hollow does get polymorphed, but that means Green out has dived in without his main damage dealer. He's trying to catch someone, but this barrel doesn't really catch anyone to push into his team. All of them were either knocked away or a Terror who is immune to such silliness of being knocked around by Chen. And now, Terror has dived very far. They do get a keep, which is the first keep of the game for Yoist Kazooie. Hollow backing up. He does get polymorphed. That Feral Lunge does go onto him, but he gets healed back up. Starfall is hitting the majority of Yoist Kazooie. There is the web, but he does get released. Antihero is going on to Hollow. There's the Metamorphosis to give him more health, and he will continue this chase. Hollow is trying to escape here. Antihero taking a lot of damage here. Fountain has been popped, but this is an entirely alive team of Yoist Kazooie versus basically just Hollow on his own and his buildings. But he goes down, and now we'll see Yoist Kazooie dive onto this core with as much healing and damage as they can to stay alive and kill this off and bring the score up to 2-2, meaning we will be going to a final deciding game to decide who will be qualifying for the Heroes Premier League Season 2. from qualifier number 4. We are getting into game number 5 of this best of 5 series for the Heroes Premier League Season 2 qualifier number 4. We're going to be playing on the Blackheart's Bay. Winner of this will win a spot in the Heroes Premier League Season 2 and a chance to get their piece of the $2,500. It's a lot on the line in this match. Whoever pleases Blackheart more could get their spot. For now though, loading screen will fill up and we will get into the game as soon as possible. And we have 2 very different styles in this game, so it's going to be who can play their style to the best effect and try and win a game. I have to put my money on Acer, looking at their composition. I think they have a slightly better composition here, but let's find out if I am correct. So, ladies and gentlemen, spawning on the left-hand side of the Blackheart's Bay in the blue trunks, it is Team Acer. And playing for them, we have Zypho playing the Valor, Destin playing the Tyronda. We have Greenout playing the Brightwing. We have Zon playing the ETC, and it's Hollow playing the Sergeant Hammer. Whereas on the right-hand side, in the red trunks, we have Yoist Kazooie. And a sheep is replaced. Thank you, Snaky. And we have Yoist Kazooie. And playing for them, we have Invidium on the Tassadar, Antihero on the Illidan, Nebza is on the Rhaegar, BKB is on the Muradin, and it's Blow Your Brain on the Nazibo. And that right there, what we just saw, is what we in the biz call a dick move. Charge in and try and backdoor your enemy's minions, and they've managed it, and now they're going for a kill. This is very aggressive out of Kazooie here. Hollow does survive though. They're not able to deal the full damage. There's a bit of a scuffle in the bot lane though. Blow Your Brain gets taken away 2/3 of his health, but that was very, very aggressive there out of Kazooie, doing a lot of damage, and they're still able to clear that top lane in time to try and go down and fight the chest. But the four men in the bot lane of Acer is able to deal with it. And now with Brightwing teleporting to the bot lane to help out Zon, they shouldn't have too much trouble getting this chest, but in comes the whole rest of Kazooie. Zon dashing out there, knocking back to try and protect himself, but he is got engaged upon. There's nothing Brightwing can do to save him there. That is first blood going over to Kazooie, and they do pick up all the coins from that bot chest, giving them 5 coins in total. In the meantime, Hollow and Destin are pushing up this mid lane very aggressively, and Zypho is soaking the XP from the mid lane. Brightwing hanging around in the bot lane until ETC can get back here for the XP. BKB taking quite a bit of harassment from Hammer and Destin together. They do work people down pretty quickly with the Hunter's Mark. And while we are doing that, I'm going to have a look at the level 1 talents. We have Bribe coming out of Brightwing. Not too much has changed since the patch. We have the Siphoning Arrow coming out of Valor again, so this could mean we're seeing more of what we've seen before, a more hybrid auto-attack kind of build Valor. We've seen a couple times now. Other than that, everything is pretty standard. The reduced cooldown on the ranges on the Hunter's Mark, and the standard stuff for Sergeant Hammer, the increased range and the increased damage to ranged targets. ETC though, this time taking groupies, meaning Guitar Solo also heals nearby allies for 12 health every second of the duration, meaning that when he heals himself, he also heals his team. So a lot more sustain coming out here. Could be what they need against a team that engages as hard as we are seeing Kazooie do. So we'll have to see how that does turn out for them. And as we can see, Valor is in fact going for the Manticore. Very much the hybrid auto-attack kind of build. Whereas everything on Kazooie is pretty standard. We have the Cyan Fusion though, going to be getting a bit of mana via Storms, which probably means Invidium intends on staying in lane quite a bit more. And there's the Oracle, sees Destin, knows he's pretty safe and is in fact going to move to take this shrine, as he knows there's no one who will kill him as he does it. Yeah, as I said, other than that, build's perfectly normal. Illidan is going to continue taking this bottom lane easy camp just to put some extra pressure on. And he's also going to grab 2 coins for that. 5 coins have already been turned in for Kazooie. No one from Acer has tried to turn in yet. And we will see when they do decide to. Brightwing currently holds the majority of their coins with 6. However, Illidan also has 6. He picked up the small camp, and he's actually going to turn in here. Brightwing can assist with this hard camp and then immediately teleport to Illidan and turn in her 6, which will give them the full turn in. Is that what she's going to do? No, because Illidan has in fact dived straight into enemy territory. They have vision that Acer are it. Sorry, not Acer. That Kazooie are taking their mercenaries right now, and it looks like ETC was able to deal with the mercenaries that Kazooie was that we did see Illidan was able to take on their own side. Right now, though, Brightwing with 10 coins. There's quite a few enemies closing in on that position. Hollow gets pinged, and here comes the engagement onto Hollow. Stun does not land on anyone, though. A lot of scuffling, very little engaging right now. Neither team wanting to take too much of a risk. Blow Your Brain is in fact starting to make his way up to the mid lane to assist with this mid chest and see if he can maybe catch someone looking for a route. And they do get the rest of the chest. It's an extra 7 coins for them. And they're going to make their way down. Brightwing, however, is going to deny that and turn in the full 10 coins and then get out of there as quick as possible. Zon attempting to take that bot chest with the help of Green out now, but there's a lot of enemies here. With Destin, though, that does even up the score. But we're going to see Muradin disengage with his hammer. And Acer going to go back to farming the lanes, grabbing the XP, trying to pick people off where they can. But for now, we do see a slight XP lead on the side of Kazooie. Both teams continuing to take down as much as they can. First turn-in did go over to Kazooie as well, which is where that side XP lead is coming from. And in fact, because of their turn-in, both teams are going to hit level 10 at pretty much exactly the same time, but Destin is going to go down for it. And here we go, Valor dealing quite a bit of auto-attack damage, and we do see the mosh pit coming down from Zon here. And there's a very grouped team of Kazooie here. If he can land it and not get stunned out by Muradin, he could do a good job here, but with them all running away, wasn't much chance of him catching them, so they are able to get away. Having a look at some of the other talents here on the ETC, we can see he's taking Guitar Hero, meaning that his next auto attack after he uses it will hit for double damage and heals you for 50% of the damage dealt to target, which is pretty effective. And now he's going to be fighting Anti-Hero in this bot lane, and we'll see just how effective that is, the fact that he can heal. But now with Nebza, Zon may actually have to get out here if his team doesn't help. There's the mosh pit, in comes Destin, but BKB is here too. There's the Starfall, and Zon actually able to steal the mercenaries thanks to his face melt. In comes Nazibo with the Ravenous Spirit, and that will chase people down. But it doesn't look like he's going to be able to kill anyone off. Destin stays alive thanks to the protective shield. And Acer able to steal that Bruiser camp fairly well and run out quite a few ultimates. The only ultimates that weren't used there were Archon and the Ancestral Healing, which does give Kazooie a bit of an advantage, and they were able to kill off that Bruiser camp very, very quickly. For now, though, looks like we're going to see a turn-in, another turn-in out of Kazooie, which will give them the amount they need for their second bombardment. And in the top, and heading up to the top lane, Zypho taking a lot of damage. Nice dodge of the stun there, and with Green out teleporting to him, is able to stay alive and get out. With Hammer coming in from the other side, though, BKB and Invidium going to take a lot of damage, but they should be able to back up. Thanks to the attackiness. Oh, Tyrant went down. Where did that happen? Oh, I see, they've raided the jungle. Zon has also had to back out here as he knows he can't take them alone. But Illidan, Nebza, and Blow Your Brain were able to raid the enemy mercenary camps and steal that easy camp and the coins that came with it. Very nice job there, which is keeping their very slight lead ahead. Having a look at some of the other ultimates we are seeing at the moment, we do see Brightwing has taken the Emerald Wind instead of the Blink Heal. Now, both are very viable, but we are seeing Emerald Wind a lot more due to the fact that Brightwing, no matter what changes were made to her, still has pretty decent healing no matter what. In fact, we can have a look at that. I can have a look at that. Yeah, Brightwing has 8k healing, which is second most, just behind Rhaegar, who currently has 9k healing. So she's not very far behind at all, and that's just with her passive healing and the Gust of Healing trait, meaning that she can activate to release a big gust of wind. And now we're going to see Kazooie beginning to take the boss Acer. Nowhere near going to be able to contest this, or instead going for the bottom fort and they will definitely be able to get it. They've actually pinged the bottom keep as well. Looks like they want to continue this push, and they might be able to do it depending on how aggressive kazooie want to go with this boss. They look like they want to go quite aggressive, seeing as BKB is already trying to steal the bruiser camps. But there we go. We are seeing Acer decide that this is a bad idea, and in fact going to B back to base instead to try and defend, rather than to try and base race a boss with an entire enemy team and a bruiser camp. And who can blame them? Here we go. They're going to start clearing this up. kazooie have decided that they do not want to push anymore due to the fact that Acer are all there, and instead going to take all of the coins in the world ever. Both chests will go over to kazooie here. Anti-hero picking up most of them now with 14 coins in his inventory. He will go for the turn in. Acer, though, rolling their way in here to try and deny this, but that stone totem will actually slow them, earth totem, so will actually slow them down enough for Anti-hero to get his turn in, and that's enough. That's a full turn in one. And Acer, once again, getting there too late, and while this is happening, those mercenaries and minions in the top lane have managed to sap all of the ammo and do quite a bit of damage. The minion wave will finally be able to clear that up, though. And Acer just going to move around the map as a group now, looking for people to fight. We have yet to see Mosh Pit come down from ETC, and we've seen a great job from kazooie from avoiding the fights. We're seeing them delay, we're seeing them slow down the enemy team and grab as much stuff as possible by raiding and picking off individual members. Right now, they're waiting for an ambush, and they will probably be able to get it. Careful, Anti-hero, you were visible there for a second. And there we go, Zon engages and then disengages, realizing that he was a bit on his own there. And there's the Oracle. They can see what's going on, trying to go for the turn in. Nice interruption there by BKB, interrupting both players. Tassadar also has Storm. He does not have the increased range on Storm, which is going to make this difficult. In comes Illidan onto Acer Zon, and Zon manages to get down his mosh pit, but it's only onto BKB. And BKB survives with the ancestral healing, and he continues to go in with his avatar form. In comes Illidan as well with his metamorphosis, and there's the Ravenous Spirit, which does actually get interrupted thanks to Polymorph. But this fight is looking good. Actually, no, it's looking quite even. Zon will go down, but there's the Emerald win, and we're going to see BKB go down as well. Illidan continues to fight, but gets dropped super low, and now we're going to see Acer give chase to the remaining players of kazooie here. Invidium shields himself to try and keep himself alive. Anti-hero has survived with 11 coins here, but Acer do manage to win the fight, and they take down Nazibo as well. Gain control of the turn-in area. Do they have enough points to turn coins to turn in? They need 12 and they have 9. They do not currently have enough to turn in, but they do gain a bit of map control. However, this Wizard Bruiser is still in the top lane and has been there for quite a while and will continue pushing. There we go, Destin finally coming back. This is going to clear that up. Zypho thinking about trying to turn in here with Hollow and Green out, but they see that the enemy team is there, and we have the lightning shielded totem going to be denying them for quite a while. And Invidium has also arrived with his Psystorms to slow this down. And this is all they're trying to do. They're just trying to delay, give their team time to do anything else on the map they want. We saw Anti-hero there taking the easy camp to put some pressure on, and now they have the opportunity to try and roll their way in and possibly try and get another turn in. That mosh pit was an okay mosh pit, but it didn't hit as many people as they would Acer would have liked. However, it is up in another 15 seconds, so if kazooie do decide to go for another fight, there is a chance of them running into a mosh getting hit by a mosh pit. 5 seconds left. All ultimates are going to be up for both teams if the fight does happen. Looks like they want it to happen. Illidan is looking very aggressive right now. Nazibo is positioned for his Ravenous. They're going to start with these coins. This could be where the fight happens. Zypho moving in, gets some harassment out. And we are seeing Nazibo just hang back. He wants to get his ultimate off. In comes Illidan with his metamorphosis. And, dashes out of the mosh pit. Doesn't land on anyone. And the zombie wall actually does kill off Destin as well. Emerald Wind pushes back quite a few members. But the first death is in the form of Tyrande. And here we go. We're going to see Zon go down. And this is currently a 2-for-0. The chase will continue. BKB lands his stun onto Greedout, and Greedout will go down as well. And currently, we are seeing kazooie taking massively control of this match. They're going to turn in, and it will be another full turn in with just Illidan alone. And that is going to do serious damage to those mid lane buildings, which are so precious on this map. Here we go. Gonna see them grabbing all the chest as well, trying to get mercenaries. Valor able to be out without being chased down. Acer in serious trouble here. They're looking so good early in the day and in parts of this game, but right now they are very much on the back foot. They need to start winning some serious fights here. Amazing dash in that last fight though by Antihero to completely bait out that mosh pit from ETC, and there we go. They do grab the hard camp and dive onto Zypho. Emerald Wind may save him. Shield goes down, and Antihero being forced to back out. Great job by Brightwing shielding Antihero there and keeping him, shielding Valor there and keeping him alive. Invidium now on the run, doing damage to Green Hour as he runs. The stun is dodged with Dimensional Shift, but in comes Illidan basically on his own, but able to dash out over ETC. Most ults won't be up for another while. We haven't even seen Ravenous Spirit. I don't even think it happened. Oh, it did happen in the last fight. There's the stun. Once again dodged, but now the team is separated. They need to fight here because they were so much trouble. Ravenous Spirit gonna completely wreck Sergeant Hammer and Valor, both the damage dealers. And even though it was interrupted, this is terrible for Acer. We're now seeing Zon run for his life. Greenout is also making a sneaky escape, but that was amazing for Kazooie. They're gonna get ready to turn in any coins they have and get some more pushes done. They've actually found Zon and they're gonna give chase to him. He dashes away, but he runs into everyone. He's completely surrounded, doing everything he can, but he will go down. He cannot survive all that himself, even with the imposing presence stun that he did take at level 16, which does slow enemy auto attacks, which is going to be great against this Illidan, but unfortunately did not make a difference in this particular scenario. And we're now going to see Kazooie taking the top lane for the top golem and turn in and get another full turn in the process. And this will be enough to take down the middle lane keep. And that is going to mean catapults. Going to be spawning golems in the top lane, catapults in the mid lane, and serious trouble for Team Acer. There are so many mercenaries left on Kazooie's side of the map as well if they want to take them. Their hard camp is available, the small coin camp is available. And they can just take those and get even more push power and even more turn-ins. This turn-in in particular, going to be able to take down this tower and do a bit of damage to that keep. And this is just not looking good for Acer. They need to the only really way they can get back here is if they fight again. They need to fight and steal the coins and then use those coins for a sort of just end state really. But the thing is, once they turn in, those coins aren't going to go and take down a keep like Kazooie's have been doing. They're going to go straight to the top lane and go for this tiny little fort up here that's just been left alone. So there's very little they can do about this. They just need to stop the rest of Kazooie here from turning in and continuing to get more barrages. And right now they're just protecting their team. That's not going to be another barrage. It's going to get quite close. They have picked up a lot of coins. Oh, the Owl Denial onto Nebza. They only need 2 more coins, but there are no coins currently on the map other than in the pockets of actually, do Acer have any? Yes, Brightwing has 8. That would be delicious, but that's very good timing for them. The chest spawns. They're going to be able to grab enough coins for another turn in there, and that would kill off the top fort if Brightwing defends it, which she should be able to do, but that means she's not going to be with her team when this fight happens. Nebza going on to Hollow very aggressively there. Zon looking for his opportunity. Brightwing is teleported down, which means bot and top lane have been left completely unattended. They're just having to fight here. In comes Illidan. Where is the mosh pit? Mosh pit actually lands very, very nicely. Hits BKB, but there it goes. Down he goes. And Illidan did go down, but the chase continues. Starfall is not enough. We're going to see Hollow here being dropped low. Ancestral healing onto BKB. Hollow goes down. It's a 3-for-1 at the moment, and Destin will make it a 4-for-1. He's running for his life. Zombies slow him down, and he gets picked off by the entire team, and they're not even going to bother turning in. They don't need to. They're just going for the core. They're going to tank Valor, and now they're going to turn onto Valor. She gets dropped to half health, and it's just going to be Blow Your Brain, who is able to distract her long enough. And they're still going onto the core. Valor is trying to defend, but there's nothing she can do about this. The minion waves here as well. The keep went down in that top lane. She's trying to take down Nebza, but the shield is too much, and he turns onto her. And Tassadar is there too, going to try and take it down, but in the meantime, the core does go down, and it is going to be Yoist Kazooie who take that 4th and final spot in the Heroes Premier League Season 2 for their chance to win a piece of that prize pool of $2,500. It was a long and difficult battle, but commiserations to Team Acer and huge congratulations to Yois Kazooie. And once he has finished fiddling with all the technical stuff, I'm pretty sure that Pride would like to give his own congratulations as well.
Yes, indeed. Congratulations to Wick for that awesomeness. That was a fantastic series, as we've said pretty much after